Day and get moving. Or call 352-289-0666.
Two men in a truck.
Prevention is important. Help prevent the spread of illness and keep yourself and others well. Here are some of the most effective ways you can prevent the spread of germs. Wash your hands by scrubbing thoroughly with soap and hot water for at least 20 seconds, and always wash before you touch your face, eat, or drink. Use hand sanitizers in addition to hand washing or where soap and water are not available. Limit sharing of items such as utensils, cups, and dishes. Avoid all physical contact with others, including handshakes and kisses. Practice social distancing by maintaining a distance of 6 feet from others. Sneeze or cough into a tissue or the inside of your elbow. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves. Sanitize frequently touched surfaces in your home and workplace several times a day. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. Download the free booklet at Scientology.org/stay well.
WOCA.
Ocala.
Humid day today with partial sunshine and an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around with a high 88 to 90. Patchy clouds for tonight with a low 73 to 75. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid, a shower or thunderstorm around for the afternoon. High 91 to 93. Then on Wednesday, a thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, high 91 to 95. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Kevin Snyder.
WOCA.
Ocala.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner, and Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184. WOCA.
Ocala.
And you're listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA, the Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Moving right along with our Monday show here as we just wrapped up our last interview. Now coming in as we're going to be talking with Mr. David Rusenko, as he is the head of e-commerce, as we're going to share some of the results of the rise of e-commerce report detailing which American cities saw the largest increase in the adoption after the outbreak of COVID-19 this past April and March compared to the first 2 months of the year. As we've got him on the phone. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Doing great.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to have you on. As obviously, just to begin, an entirely different year than what a lot of people expected, whether you were working for a corporation or you were one of the ones, trudging through this tumultuous time with having your own small business. And, for the ones that have a small business, you're here to talk to them just to give them some reassurance about what they can expect kind of going into the remainder of the year and, kind of dealing with what we have been and what it means for the economy.
Yeah, obviously a lot has changed since the beginning of the year, and so, but that means new ways to do business and new ways to adapt.
Gotcha. And with that being said, right away, how is COVID-19, transforming e-commerce for small businesses?
Well, I think what happened once the pandemic really started taking place is that e-commerce went from sort of something that a lot of small businesses were looking to add, something that maybe they're looking to add over the next few years, and it shortened that adoption cycle from a few years to a few weeks. And sort of overnight, what you saw was that doing business online became not just a nice to have, but a must have. Something that everyone needed to sort of adopt in order to really continue to stay in business and transact with their customers. And so I think, that has been, come with its own challenges, but also at the end of the day comes with its own opportunities. I think, and we could continue to talk about this later, I think there will be a lot of businesses that reemerge out of this stronger, that, once they've gone through the effort to bring their business online and start selling through multiple channels, both in person, online, and, on things like Instagram, everywhere in between, that they'll come out of this. A lot of businesses we see are actually saying now that, in person starts to rebound, their business is actually growing compared to what it was before the pandemic. And so I do think there will be opportunities coming out of this to come out stronger.
Absolutely. Now, in lieu of the report, and according to your report, which cities actually are seeing the largest increase in this online adoption?
Well, that's what's interesting. It's not necessarily the cities you would expect. Kind of first city probably that comes to mind is a city like San Francisco, that everyone associates with the tech boom. But what we actually saw was that the number one city that adopted online sales was Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
San Francisco was actually number 7. So you have Albuquerque was number 1, Durham was number 2. Portland number 3, Minneapolis number 4. So, I think this was really a phenomenon, as is sort of intuitive, I guess. It was a phenomenon, not just the big cities, but the big cities, the small cities, coast to coast and everywhere in between.
Right. And I guess that is a little surprising. I wasn't expecting Albuquerque to be number 1. I was just thinking of, Bugs Bunny coming through a hole there going, should have made a left turn at Albuquerque, not did e-commerce. But nonetheless, what are some tips, when it comes to staying ahead of the curve in this current environment that is changing? It's adapting every day, so to speak. What are some tips?
Yeah, I think that the biggest one is that you need to be prepared to meet your customers where they are and sort of how they feel comfortable. And so, the number one thing, out of this is that things are just unpredictable. And so, I don't think anyone really knows exactly how this will evolve in the future, but you can be prepared for that by, offering curbside pickup, offering local delivery. A good example of a local small business was, Ivanhoe Park Brewing Company. They were able to transition online. They transitioned offering curbside pickup and local delivery. Something else that they did as well is that they started offering, things like, merchandise or groceries. They even offered socks, branded socks for Father's Day. And so I think, a lot of people are, whether offering, food or beverages, a lot of restaurants even are just getting very creative with what they offer, whether it's, obviously food traditionally, whether it's, offering merchandise, whether it's offering groceries, offering donations, like, the ability for people to purchase a meal for first responders, or even services. We're seeing some restaurants that you could buy a meal kit and then they'll do a Zoom food preparation class. So you kind of get the meal, and then the chef teaches you a small group how to make it that evening. And so I think a lot of businesses are just reinventing the way that they do business. But with that resourcefulness, that resilience, I think we're going to see some really cool things coming out of this, new ways of doing business that people invent.
Now, does that come into the old cliche there, adapt or die? Is that kind of where it's at with maybe some of these small businesses in lieu of, some of the tips you mentioned? And, what do you see as the next big trend for e-commerce? And is adapt or die a big part of that?
Yeah, adapting has always been important. I don't think it's ever been more important. The good news is, we took our cue really from the sellers that we serve, and we saw them adapt. We saw this incredible amount of resourcefulness, scrappiness in just how they were reinventing their businesses, and so we wanted to follow their lead. We released a bunch of new tools like curbside pickup, like on-demand delivery to really help cope. I think it's been challenging, to be frank, for a lot of businesses moving online. And I think one of the things people don't necessarily appreciate is that everyone thinks of moving online as taking that online order, and well, that's actually the easiest part. What's a lot harder is bringing the operations of your business online, sort of digitizing the operations of your business. And that's been challenging for a lot of businesses. But the big trend, to your point, is once you do that, you can not just be in one channel. Whether it's serving customers in person or online, or on Instagram or on any other channels where they might be. But once you can do that, you can serve them on all channels, and you can serve them how they feel comfortable. Some customers will feel comfortable coming and dining in person. Some customers may feel more comfortable with curbside delivery. And so I think once you're able to cater to sort of a wide, varying set of preferences, that's where we're really seeing a lot of businesses that in some ways are not just struggling through, but in some ways even are growing through the pandemic.
Right. And just to the idea of, like you mentioned, how consumer behavior is being changed forever. This is something, like you said, it was kind of like, oh, that's a neat little convenience too. This is necessary. And then from there, like you said, just in the idea of like having to overcome logistical changes in selling in more than one channel, like we've been talking about. And it's interesting because these are such changing times, and it just feels like that one of the hardest things we've discussed is just how small business is affected through everything that has happened through March, April, May. And as much as we're talking about a resurgence now, that's changed the dynamic of the mindset too, even in these summer months. So it's very fascinating. Now, where can the listeners go for more information, partner?
Sure. They, our website is squareup.com. They can go there. They can learn. We offer a variety of solutions. Again, both for selling in person with the hardware that a lot of people are probably familiar with, but also online selling. So squareup.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, partner. You guys have a good rest of the week. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got it. WOCA back after this.
Says about where we are now compared to the beginning.
We really had one epicenter of spread when